We are facing a heated competition this month, with a well-known channel focusing on American football team, both having accumulated a significant number of likes and interactions about sports during the first week of April. To close this gap, it is essential to engage with the content presented today, and supporting future videos is a practical and effective way to contribute. Moving on to updates about another team, we bring information about an offensive lineman who was analyzed over the last weekend. It is important to highlight that this player did not participate in the previous season, as there were high expectations that he would be the starting right guard, but he unexpectedly decided to retire just before the season started, which raised some concerns. His NFL journey began with one team after his time at university, where his performance was not particularly remarkable, playing mainly as a guard. His numbers showed a high pressure rate, while his performance in running plays was considered acceptable. It was surprising to see his name resurface, especially after returning from retirement with little attention, leading this team to promote him for an evaluation. During his NFL career, most of his appearances were at guard, although he also played a bit as a tackle, including during his university years. This situation suggests a potential role as a backup, or at least an opportunity to observe his current skills. The team has several options, especially at right guard, as the 4 starting positions are already defined. The space for this position remains open, which could be filled by another player acquired in free agency or even by a draft pick. Therefore, this is undoubtedly a situation to watch, even if it's primarily a chance to evaluate what he can still bring to the team. Additionally, a defender from another team became available after being waived before the April draft, and many have shown interest in discussing his situation, making this a relevant topic to analyze, especially in this quieter period leading up to the draft. Now, let's explore the situation of a defender who was a starter last season. The team decided to part ways with him before the April draft, and many fans have shown curiosity about his current state. With the draft approaching, it seems like the perfect time to discuss his situation. This defender is perhaps best remembered for his struggles in the last preseason, particularly in a game where an opponent stood out, which may have affected his confidence as a player. When analyzing available players on the market, the question arises, would you prefer to sign one player over another? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Jack Jones' career has been marked by inconsistency. On several occasions last year, he allowed too many yards and touchdowns. However, there was an improvement in 2023 while playing for the Raiders after leaving the Patriots, showcasing better performance. The cornerback position is characterized by instability and uncertainty, something evident in Jones' performances. Additionally, there are concerns about potential off-field issues he might face. Currently, the team urgently needs reinforcements at cornerback, especially with Trayvon Diggs' status for the first week still undecided. The team faces the challenge of deciding whether to select a new player in the draft. If they choose not to do so, it's necessary to evaluate whether Jack Jones is a more viable alternative compared to Ka Elam or Cale Carson. In this scenario, one could consider the possibility of starting one of these players. What version of Jack Jones could the team really get? His performance in 2023 with the Raiders was decent, but his 2024 performance wasn't as impactful, further complicated by off-field issues. Criticisms about the team's culture have been raised, and it's still unclear if Jack Jones fits into this context. Furthermore, the apparent lack of movement in the Cowboys' free agent market raises questions about their next steps. Would it be wise to seek alternatives in the draft rather than relying solely on free agency? You may want to analyze your options, and it might be more beneficial to consider selecting someone or at least attempting to pick a player. Today's main topic is the current ticket acquisition scenario. The platform in question makes it easy to buy tickets for various events beyond sports and baseball, covering a wide range of entertainment. Prices on this app tend to decrease as the event date approaches, allowing you to secure a good deal if you decide last minute. There are many Rangers games scheduled, although none will take place this week due to the team's ongoing trip. Unlike other teams in the Dallas area, the Rangers have been standing out recently, which could increase your chances of experiencing a winning game if you attend one of their matches. You can save a considerable amount by purchasing last-minute tickets for various events, including sports, music shows, comedy performances, and theater productions. The app's features make it even easier to find the best last-minute deals available at your chosen venue, eliminating the uncertainty that often comes with ticket purchasing. By downloading the app and creating an account, you'll gain access to special offers that enhance your buying experience. Shifting gears, recent speculations about the Jets have arisen, with reports suggesting that Brie Hall could be in a position to be traded, depending on the NFL draft developments. This speculation stemmed from comments made by a coaching staff member who mentioned the expectation of a committee of 3 players managing the running back position for the Jets. This would indicate a rotation where Brie Hall might not get as many opportunities, particularly given his upcoming contract year, raising questions about his workload before entering the market. Another analyst highlighted that these statements might likely trigger discussions about trades, especially since Hall is part of a group of players eligible for contract extensions, including others selected in the same draft year. Retaining all these talented players long-term represents a significant challenge for the team. Hall stands out as an athlete with exceptional skills. Statements about Hall will certainly fuel trade speculations, considering he is among a small group of players eligible for extensions, along with others selected in the same draft class. Keeping all these players for an extended period could prove difficult. Hall is undeniably an athlete who would attract interest if you're the subject of trade talks. It is plausible that the Jets could consider trading him if standout Boise player Ashton Jenney is available with the 7th overall pick in the upcoming draft. The possibility of Jenney joining the Jets makes a trade involving Brie Hall quite viable. If Jenney is indeed available, which is not guaranteed, would it be wise to evaluate trading Brie Hall? The reasoning behind a yes or no answer could lead to an interesting discussion in today's comment section. The trade value of Brie Hall shouldn't be exaggerated, especially considering he came off a season that didn't meet expectations. His yards per carry have been decreasing each year, from 5.8 to 4.5 and then to 4.2. He was projected to be a 1,000-yard rusher in 2023, but the Jets underestimated his production, resulting in underwhelming performance, which could be seen as a mistake. Hall is expected to make about $3.4 million in 2025, making a trade less unfeasible. The situation where trading Hall might make sense arises if the Jets actively put him on the market, although I remain skeptical about this. If the Cowboys miss the opportunity to select a running back early in the draft, it likely means several other teams have picked running backs before them, which could make some veterans currently on rosters more accessible, including not just Brie Hall, but others as well. If the Jets decide to trade down early in the second round or explore similar options, the prospect of veteran trades becomes more reasonable. I'm not sure if Ashton Jenney will still be available with the 7th pick, but if Brie Hall is placed on the market, it could represent an interesting opportunity for the Cowboys. His performance has been inconsistent, and considering the Jets' struggles with quarterback play and offensive line issues, the situation has not been ideal for ground game success. Personally, I would lean toward selecting a running back on the second day of the draft, securing a 4-year contract at a lower cost, which seems to be the most plausible alternative for the Cowboys, assuming the draft order works in their favor in the second round. The quarterback performance was below expectations, and the offensive line faced injury issues, making the overall situation unsatisfactory. Personally, I would lean towards selecting a quarterback on the second day of the draft, as this would secure a 4-year contract at a more affordable financial rate. Ultimately, this seems to be the most viable option for the team, provided the draft dynamics unfold favorably in the first 2 or 3 rounds. There are several talented players available who could be of interest to the team on this day. If these opportunities do not materialize, considering a trade as a backup plan wouldn't be a bad decision. If other teams are acquiring running backs, this may open the door for a veteran player to become available on the trade market. We are approaching 112,000 subscribers, with only 352 left to reach this number. Although this is not new, the team signed a 1-year contract with a player who could total $6.5 million. If this figure is correct, it could make the player eligible for compensation. However, we still don't have concrete details on this contract, which was signed a few days ago possibly on Saturday or Friday. I don't remember exactly, as the days tend to blur together. It's unclear whether this will count as a compensatory player, given that we don't have the official contract. It's been a few days now, and this usually suggests that there are many incentives that likely won't be met, which doesn't favor the issue of exploring compensatory players and other similar situations. Currently, compensatory picks have undergone some changes, and it's important to analyze what's happening. The fifth pick related to Jordan Lewis remains valid without any changes. On the other hand, Javonte Williams' pick is affecting DeMarcus Lawrence's. A specialist who conducts research on this topic has provided an in-depth analysis, stating that he doesn't believe this information will remain constant. I've made some updates to the placeholders as new agreements were signed, especially regarding Javonte Williams' compensatory pick, which is influencing the Cowboys' decisions, leading to the cancellation of both Tank Lawrence's and Solomon Thomas's picks, which are some of the last contracts qualifying for compensatory picks. Therefore, what we're aiming for are 2, 3, or 4 more signings. At this point, Javonte Williams' compensatory pick weighs against the Cowboys, canceling a pick related to Tank Lawrence and another to Solomon Thomas, which would count as a 6th-round pick. Both are among the last contracts eligible for compensatory picks. Ideally, 2, 3, or 4 more players will be signed in free agency and become eligible for these picks. This would allow the counting of Javonte Williams and Solomon Thomas to be disregarded, and the last 2 contracts could potentially be excluded if Trey Lance started to count, creating an even more favorable situation. At this moment, Javonte Williams and Solomon Thomas's contracts are in a fragile position, potentially included or not in the compensatory pick formula. If included, the 5th pick for Tank could be lost, and possibly the 6th for Brandon Cooks as well. However, the time played influences this situation, and new signings before the NFL draft are approaching. There is also uncertainty about these signings, which requires patience. The counting of Trey Lance, even if not with the full value, would be ideal, as it would place Williams and Thomas in a delicate position, potentially resulting in a favorable combination where one could be excluded. Therefore, this needs to be closely monitored, and patience will be crucial during this process. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The NFL offseason is always full of surprises, but this latest rumor surrounding Baker Mayfield and the Dallas Cowboys has fans buzzing like never before. Could the Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback be making his way to the Lone Star State? The speculation has set the football world alight, and this potential move might just be the spark the Cowboys need to make a deep playoff run. But why are all eyes on Mayfield and Dallas? Baker Mayfield's journey has been anything but conventional. After a standout college career, including winning the Heisman Trophy, he was drafted by the Cleveland Browns as the number 1 overall pick in 2018. His tenure with the Browns had its ups and downs, but in 2020, he finally helped the team reach the playoff for the first time in nearly 2 decades. However, his relationship with the franchise soured, leading to a trade that saw him spend time with the Carolina Panthers, Los Angeles Rams, and, most recently, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The 2023 season saw Mayfield lead the Bucs to a division title, and despite some inconsistency, his talent was undeniable. Now, with the Cowboys rumored to be in the market for a quarterback, Mayfield's name has emerged as a potential fit. Dallas has been looking for a quarterback who can step up in big moments and bring stability to the position. With Dak Prescott's future uncertain, could Baker Mayfield be the player to challenge for that starting role? The idea of Mayfield joining a team with Super Bowl aspirations like the Cowboys has fans and analysts alike asking if he could be the missing piece to Dallas' puzzle. What makes this rumor even more intriguing is the way Mayfield has performed despite adversity. Whether it was leading the Bucs to a victory over the Chiefs or stepping up without key receivers, Mayfield has shown resilience that would surely be an asset for the Cowboys. His ability to bounce back from poor performances and deliver when it matters most is exactly the kind of trait a team like Dallas could use in its quest for postseason glory. As the offseason progresses and more rumors swirl, one thing is clear. This potential move would send shockwaves through the NFL. Baker Mayfield to the Cowboys could be a match made in football heaven, or a high-risk gamble that could either pay off big or end in disappointment. The possibilities are endless, and fans are eagerly awaiting to see if this rumor will turn into reality. Would Mayfield be the catalyst the Cowboys need to finally break through? Only time will tell, but the speculation is far from over. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.